are going to start with questions. So if you have a
Recording
question,
in progress.
please raise your hand. All right, Jacob, go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks, Ryan. Hi, Sophia. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us today. Just your overall thoughts going into tomorrow's match against the Red Stars.
Well, it's cold here, so that's my first. It's my first thought. Very cold. It snowed last night, so I woke up and there was white on the ground, and I was like, oh. But no, we are excited to get the season going. Obviously, having our first match at home was nice. Getting that win is always nice. Coming to Chicago is really difficult. It always is. It's they're a good team. Chicago is obviously known for always being hardworking and clearly with who they have in the front line, very transitional as well. And so I think just traveling here is always difficult. Playing at SeaTac is difficult. So it's a hard game to come on the road and get 3 points from. But obviously that's our goal. It's always expectation to win. And like I said, I think we're just excited to continue playing. It was a long off season. Getting the second game in is exciting for us, and we're ready to hopefully get 3 points.
And as far as preparing for Chicago, can you share what are some of the things the team has talked about in terms of looking at how they did against Utah and their victory in terms of what to look out for, as much as Chicago has a new coach and Lauren Donaldson, so it's a new system and new, so there are going to be some things that are going to be unknown for you guys.
Yeah, I think you always have to watch out for players like Mal. If you're going based off of the last game they played, Utah had a little bit more possession, but Chicago was able to, transition, win the ball back, and, score some goals. So I think that we're really aware of some of the weapons that they have. Sam Staub is obviously a new addition to Chicago. She poses a threat in many areas in the field, especially with her long throw. Like I said, having Mal back is always someone we have to be, cognizant of. But, Chicago is a really new team. I was going through, players that I had played with when I was here several years ago, and there's not a lot. There's only one player that I played with, and that's Alyssa Nair. So I think that, sometimes when you have a new team, new coach, new players, it's really exciting to just, have almost you get to start over. So we're aware that they're a very new team, but that they're excited to prove what they can do on the field. And so, yeah, like I said, we just have to be really aware of some of their really key players and their ability to transition.
Thanks, Jacob. And then
I appreciate it. Thank you, Sophia.
Charles, go ahead.
Hey, Sophia. Jeff's in the chat, and he's wanted me to ask this on his behalf. How happy were you with the defensive efforts of match one, and how can you guys build on that moving forward, just with how strong you guys look defensively?
Well, obviously really happy. As a defender, anytime we get a clean sheet, it's a positive. And as you know, we have some injuries, and so we've had to make some adjustments in our back line. And so to see players who, maybe wouldn't have getting the start and playing very well, and then, being so strong defensively is something that we always strive to do. And so that was something that we took out of the game as a positive, and we're gonna hope to no, it's okay. Hope to do that this weekend as well. And that's really our goal every weekend, is to get a shutout, be strong defensively. Like I said, they have some really attacking threats, and so if we can shut them out and do as well as we did last weekend, I think we'll be really happy with that. But I'm really happy with our back line. I always have been for the last several years. I think, statistically, we've always been one of the top teams defensively, and that's something we really, pride ourselves on. And a reason why I think I have had success defensively, because I have a lot of good players on the line, with me. And so that's always something that we strive to do, is to, shut teams out and to not just be good defensively, but also on the ball. That's something we really take pride in as well. As it starts from the back line, and we want to be that voice, and we want to set the tone with the passes that we're playing into our other teammates. And we have a really, in my opinion, a very good back line. It's a combination of experience, but also some younger players, but those younger players don't show their age at all. Like Alana, Phoebe, Shay, Lily, now that we've added to our back line. I mean, you wouldn't guess that they're all way younger than me and Lou, but they are. So yeah, really proud of the back line. And Claudia, of course. She's also a youngin'.
Thanks, Charles. And then we'll go ahead to Steven.
Sofia, I want to ask, you guys have about a month until your next home game at Lumen Field. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about kind of the pros, the cons of having more of your home games later in the season when you might have kind of developed better rapport versus the challenges of being on the road for an extended stretch early in the season.
Yeah, I did see that when I looked at the schedule. I was like, wow, I mean, really excited to obviously have our first game at home. We hadn't had that for a couple of years, so we were excited about that. But then to have 3 away games at the beginning, I mean, that's challenging. Traveling is obviously challenging, but it's part of the job. And so I know that, we don't take it too hard, we're not going to focus on it too much, but I think to your point, having home games later on in the season is probably more beneficial. So I think we all are on the same page where we'd rather have away trips now at the beginning when we're fresh and it's not as, hard to have a travel day, even though it always is. But I think at the beginning of the season, that's probably better than at the end. So something that we're not focusing on too much, but as I mentioned, anytime you have to travel 4 hours, now we're, it's snowing outside. It's challenging, but we have a older team, a new team, younger team as well. But we have players who have been linked for a long time and know that there are so many things out of your control, and so you just have to focus on what is in your control, which is obviously not the schedule is not in our control, but our attitudes and the way that we show up on the field is. So we always just try to lead with that.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Steven. Any other questions?
Yeah, Ryan, I got one if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
Sorry, Sophia, I didn't ask this when it was happening, but and you talking about the back line, it made me wonder, what have you liked from Lily Woodham on the other end of on the line here? I know that you've got some pretty impressive crosses and service, but she's shown a little bit of that as well. I just was curious what you've seen of her, whether it be in training or in match one, and just being around her as well.
Yeah, Lily has been such a great addition to our team. I mean, anytime you can have a left footer on the left side, I think that's an advantage, and her left foot is lethal. I feel like a lot of lefties are like that. I mean, Lou Barnes is the same way, but her left foot is incredible. Her crosses are really good too. Yesterday 2 days ago, we were doing some crossing and finishing, and I was very impressed by her ability to get whip on it because she's so small, but she has such good pace on her crosses. But I mean, she's a complete footballer. I think she really understands the game pretty well. She's young, and I think that was surprising to me to learn how young she was, but she's, fit in very well. She's funny. She's a competitor, everything that we like at the Reign. And so I'm very happy that we've added her to the team. And she's, I love people from Wales. They're all so funny. So she also, adds that, in addition to her ability to be such a good playmaker on the field, she's also just so funny. So that's obviously really a plus.
Thanks, Charles. Any other questions? Okay, thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
We'll have Laura in here soon.